Science and Technology Phenome India, National Biobank. News, Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh recently inaugurated the
News, Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh recently inaugurated the state-of-the-art Phenome India, National Biobank at the CSIR Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology in New Delhi. About National Biobank, Repository Biological, it is a large scale that gathers and preserves samples, blood, tissues, DNA, along with clinical, lifestyle, and genomic data. Launched under the Phenome India project. Purpose: it will support early disease detection, enhance precision in treatments, and strengthen efforts against major health challenges like diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and rare genetic disorders. It will also produce high-quality data to advance AI-based diagnostics and gene-guided medical therapies. Data collection, a long-term, data-rich study that will track the health outcomes of 10,000 individuals from different parts of India over several years. Unique feature, specifically designed to represent India's diversity in terms of geography, ethnicity, and socioeconomic backgrounds, making it a tailored model for the country. Phenome India Project official name, Phenome India, CSIR Health Cohort Knowledge Base, PIHCK. Launched by Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, on December 7, 2023. Objective: to build India-specific risk prediction models for cardiometabolic diseases such as diabetes, liver ailments, and heart diseases. It is the first pan-India longitudinal health monitoring study dedicated to cardiometabolic health. Phenome refers to the complete collection of phenotypes present in a cell, tissue, organ, organism, or species. Phenotype means the observable traits or characteristics of an organism. This covers aspects such as physical appearance, growth and development, and behavior. A phenotype is shaped by both the genotype, the genetic makeup of the organism, and the environmental factors acting on those genes. Tribal Genome Sequencing Project of Gujarat. News, Gujarat has become the first Indian state to launch a genome sequencing initiative focused exclusively on tribal communities. About Tribal Genome Sequencing Project of Gujarat. Overview: an initiative to sequence the genomes of 2,000 individuals across 17 tribal districts of Gujarat, aimed at identifying and managing inherited disorders. First of its kind, Gujarat will be the first Indian state to launch such an initiative. Implementing agency, spearheaded by the Gujarat Biotechnology Research Center, GBRC. Background: announced in the state budget 2025-26 under the project titled Creation of Reference Genome Database for Tribal Population in Gujarat. Diseases to be detected. The project will focus on early diagnosis and treatment of sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, hereditary cancers, all of which disproportionately affect tribal populations. Techniques employed: genome sequencing will use advanced systems for sample collection, processing, and data interpretation. Genetic markers for natural immunity and other traits will be cataloged to support personalized healthcare interventions in the future. CRISPR-edited japonica rice. News, scientists at the National Institute of Plant Genome Research, NIPGR, have developed a CRISPR-edited japonica rice variety that absorbs phosphate more efficiently. This rice variety shows a 20% higher yield with normal fertilizer use and up to 40% higher yield under low phosphatic conditions. About CRISPR. CRISPR, clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, is a modern gene editing technique. It allows scientists to add, delete, or modify specific DNA sequences using tools like CRISPR-Cas9. About japonica rice short grain, high-starch rice variety, East Asia. A mostly grown in. Preferred in genetic research and breeding experiments due to its stable traits and adaptability in controlled environments. Cultivated in cool subtropical and temperate regions. Majorly consumed in Japan, China, Korea, Vietnam, and Indonesia, known for its sticky texture when cooked. Plant traits: short to medium height, narrow dark green leaves, low grain shattering, and 0 to 20% amylose content. Key scientific details: technique used: CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing. Target gene: OSBHO1, 2, a phosphate transporter that helps move phosphate from roots to shoots. Challenge addressed: currently, plants absorb only 15 to 20% of phosphate fertilizers. The rest is lost due to soil fixation or runoff. Significance: phosphorus is essential for plant growth, yet 80 to 85% of applied phosphate fertilizers remain unused. India imports over 4.5 million tons of phosphate fertilizers annually. CRISPR-edited rice could make farming more nutrient-efficient and sustainable, reducing dependence on imports and fertilizers. India secures license to explore Indian Ocean polymetallic sulfides. News, India has secured a 15-year exploration contract from the International Seabed Authority, ISA, to study polymetallic sulfides in the Northwest Indian Ocean. India's license to explore polymetallic sulfides in the Indian Ocean. Historic first, India has received the world's first license to explore polymetallic sulfide, PMS, deposits in the Carlsberg Ridge. Contract area: covers 10,000 square km of the Carlsberg Ridge in the Northwest Indian Ocean. Polymetallic sulfides, PMS. Hydrothermal mineral deposits mid-ocean ridges PMS are found along and hydrothermal vents. Formed when hot, mineral-rich fluids from the Earth's mantle mix with cold ocean water, precipitating metal sulfides. These metalliferous muds are rich in copper, zinc, lead, iron, silver, and gold. Carlsberg Ridge, 300,000 square km Arabian Sea and northwest stretches across an Indian Ocean. Marks the boundary between the Indian and Arabian tectonic plates. Arabian Sea-Somali Basin separates the northeast from the southwest. International Seabed Authority, ISA. Autonomous international body established under the 1982 UNCLOS. Mineral resource activities in benefit of regulates all the area for the humanity. oversees about 50% of the world's ocean floor, ensures protection of the marine environment from harmful effects of deep seabed activities. All unclosed member states, including India, are part of ISA. Headquarters, Kingston, Jamaica. ISRO's heaviest rocket lunar module launch vehicle, LMLV. News, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, says that the space agency was in the process of building its heaviest rocket ever and had named it Lunar Module Launch Vehicle, LMLV. Key features of LMLV design. Built as an upgraded version of the Next Generation Launch Vehicle, NGLV. Its height is comparable to a 40-story building. Purpose. Developed for lunar exploration, including India's first planned human mission to the moon by 2040. Payload capacity. Up to 80 tons to low Earth orbit, LEO. Around 27 tons to the moon. Structure. A 3-stage configuration with liquid propellant used in the first 2 stages and a cryogenic stage as the third. ISRO's key launch vehicles and their capabilities. PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. A reliable third-generation launcher with liquid stages. Used for placing satellites into sun-synchronous polar orbit, LEO, and GTO. Notable missions, Chandrayaan-1, Mars Orbiter Mission. GSLV, Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. A 3-stage, 4th-generation vehicle. Designed for deploying 2-ton class communication satellites into GTO. LVM-3. Heavy lift, 3-stage vehicle. Payload capacity, 4-ton class to GTO or 10 tons to LEO. Used in Chandrayaan-2 and Chandrayaan-3. Proposed for future use in the Bharatiya Antariksh Station project. SSLV, Small Satellite Launch Vehicle. Compact 3-stage launcher with solid propulsion. Tailored for small payloads ranging from 10 to 500 kilograms, including mini, micro, and nano satellites. Integrated Air Drop Test, IEDT-1, for Gaganyaan mission. News, the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has successfully conducted its first Integrated Air Drop Test, IEDT-1, for the Gaganyaan mission. About Integrated Air Drop Test, IEDT-1. The test involved an end-to-end demonstration of the parachute-based deceleration system. It was a critical validation exercise to ensure that the parachute system can safely decelerate and recover the crew module during re-entry under the Gaganyaan mission. About Gaganyaan mission. It is India's first human spaceflight program aims to send a crew of 3 astronauts into low Earth orbit, LEO, at an altitude of 400 kilometers for 3 days and return them safely to Earth. Mission phases unmanned test flights. These will validate critical systems, including safety mechanisms and abort procedures. Manned mission. Following successful unmanned flights, the first manned mission is expected to take place in early 2027. Key technologies for Crew Safety 1. Human-rated launch vehicle, HLVM-3. A modified version of ISRO's LVM-3 rocket, specifically adapted to meet human rating standards. Combines solid, liquid, and cryogenic stages, upgraded for enhanced reliability. Features a crew escape system, CES, with high burn rate solid motors, ensuring safe abort in case of emergencies during launch or ascent. 2. Orbital module, OM. The OM consists of 2 main components. Crew module, CM. Pressurized, habitable space Earth-like A designed to simulate an environment for astronauts. Houses crew interfaces, life support systems, and avionics. Built to withstand re-entry conditions with robust thermal protection. Service module, SM. Provides propulsion, power, thermal control, avionics, and other support functions. Remains unpressurized and separates before re-entry. Significance. A successful Gaganyaan mission will place India among the elite nations the United States, Russia, and China with independent human spaceflight capability. It lays the groundwork for future Indian space programs, including space stations, interplanetary missions, and advanced space applications. Small Satellite Launch Vehicles, SSLV. News, ISRO has signed an agreement with HAL for the transfer of Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, SSLV, technology. About SSLV. Purpose, a quick turnaround, on-demand launch vehicle that can be scaled efficiently for industrial production. Configuration, solid propulsion stages 3 and a trimming module, VTM, as the terminal stage. Capacity, can launch satellites weighing up to 500 kilograms into low Earth orbit, LEO. India's first private test facility for heavy water. News, TEMA India has set up India's first private facility to test heavy water equipment for PHWRs, a role earlier handled only by BARC, cutting project timelines by 1 to 2 years. About heavy water, D2O. Heavy water is water in which the hydrogen atoms are replaced with deuterium, a heavier isotope of hydrogen. In nuclear reactors, it serves a dual purpose. Coolant, removes heat from the reactor core. Moderator, slows down fast-moving neutrons to sustain the fission chain reaction. Efficiency requires 99.9% purity. Over time, it gets diluted with light water and is upgraded back to required purity through distillation. Recent development. TEMA India has supplied the first batch of distillation column sections for the Rawatbada Nuclear Power Plant, RAP-8, Rajasthan, which is targeted to go critical by December 2025. About pressurized heavy water reactor, PHWR, fuel. It uses natural, unenriched uranium, making it both economical and strategically important for India. Moderator and coolant. Heavy water, D2O, plays a double role here, slowing down neutrons to keep the chain reaction steady and carrying away heat from the reactor core. Cooling system. The heat from the reactor is first absorbed by a mix of heavy and light water, then passed to a secondary loop where it turns water into steam that drives turbines to generate electricity. Control rods. Made of boron or cadmium, they act like brakes absorbing excess neutrons to regulate or even stop the reaction when needed. Fuel requirement. To put it in perspective, a 700 megawatts PHWR running efficiently at 85% capacity needs around 125 tons of uranium dioxide fuel every year. Key advantages. Operates on natural uranium. Reducing dependence on enriched fuel generates comparatively less high-level radioactive waste functions at lower pressures than several other reactor types. India's nuclear energy goals long-term target. Achieve 100 gigawatts of nuclear power capacity by 2047, centenary of independence. Current status. India has 24 operational nuclear reactors with a total installed capacity of 8,780 megawatts. Near-term target. Increase installed capacity to 22.4 gigawatts by 2032. Nuclear power accounts for 3.61% of India's total electricity generation in 2022 to 23, making it the fifth largest non-fossil fuel source of electricity. Recent initiative. Launch of a 20,000 Indian rupees crore nuclear energy mission to promote the development of small modular reactors, SMRs, aimed at enhancing energy security, scalability, and clean energy transition. Enrichment of uranium news. Recently, international attention has focused on Iran's renewed uranium enrichment activities, which have raised apprehensions over potential proliferation risks. About uranium enrichment. Definition. Uranium enrichment refers to the process of increasing the concentration of uranium-235 U-235, the fissile isotope, by removing uranium-238 U-238, which is non-fissile. Process. The most common technique involves centrifugation, where uranium hexafluoride gas is spun at very high speeds. The heavier U-238 atoms move toward the outer edge of the centrifuge. The lighter U-235 atoms remain closer to the center, gradually enriching the sample. Levels of enrichment and their applications. Enrichment level U-235 concentration primary use 3 to 5% low enriched uranium, Lu, used in civilian nuclear power reactors greater than 20% highly enriched uranium, Hu. Can be used for research reactors or potential weapon material 90% weapons grade uranium suitable for compact, efficient nuclear weapons. AI Alliance Network, INET, News. The Digital India Foundation, DF, a founding member of INET, has opposed the membership request of Pakistan's AI Technology Center, AITC. About INET. It is an informal, voluntary network and community that enables members to exchange views, share information, and build expertise. Objective: to accelerate AI technology development and deployment for sustainable long-term prosperity, as well as social and economic growth. Membership currently has 17 members, including India. Administration managed by the AI Alliance Russia. EU General Purpose AI, GPAI, Code of Practice. News: 26 major tech companies, including Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and IBM, have voluntarily signed the EU Commission's AI Code of Practice on GPAI. About GPAI Code of Practice. Nature. A voluntary code legal clarity. This is designed to offer companies and help them smoothly adapt to the forthcoming EU AI Act. Code structure. It is organized into 3 key areas: transparency, copyright, and safety and security. About EU AI Act. First, comprehensive AI law, a risk-based approach the world's using to regulation. Strengthens accountability for AI providers, impacting businesses that use generative AI. Expected to become a global benchmark, much like GDPR. Noncompliance can attract fines of up to 7% of global turnover. India's semiconductor mission ISM. News. The government has approved 4 new semiconductor manufacturing projects in Odisha, Punjab, and Andhra Pradesh under the India Semiconductor Mission, ISM. About India's Semiconductor Mission, ISM, launch and outlay, 2021 76,000 Indian rupees crore. Introduced in with a total budget of Nodal Ministry, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITY. Objective: to strengthen India's semiconductor ecosystem by supporting investments in chip fabrication, display manufacturing, and design innovation. Enabling deeper participation in global electronics value chains. Core objectives of ISM: establish semiconductor fabrication, fab, plants in India. Develop assembly, testing, marking, and packaging AEMP facilities. Chip design startups R&D in semiconductor design. Promote and foster train and build a skilled semiconductor workforce. Attract foreign investment and technology partnerships in the semiconductor sector. Major schemes under ISM. Semiconductor Fab Scheme offers up to 50% fiscal support for setting up wafer fabrication units. Display Fab Scheme extends 50% financial assistance of total project cost for display manufacturing units. Design Linked Incentive DLI Scheme supports startups and MSMEs in chip design through financial incentives across all stages of product development. Semicon India Program. A flagship initiative under ISM that brings together global leaders, industry experts, academia, and startups to drive innovation, collaboration, and investment in semiconductor technology. Strategic importance enables India to tap its fast-growing semiconductor market, projected to reach $100 to $110 billion by 2030. Aims to diversify and secure global semiconductor supply chains, reducing dependency on countries like Taiwan, China, and the US. Vikram 32. News. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw unveiled the Vikram 32 processor at the Semicon India 2025 conference. About Vikram 32. It is India's first indigenously developed 32-bit processor for space applications. Developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, VSSC, fabricated at ISRO Semiconductor Laboratory, SCL, Chandigarh. Upgrade. Vikram 32. Vikram 3201 is an upgraded version of Vikram 1601, a 16-bit processor used in ISRO's launch vehicles since 2009. Technology, based on a custom instruction set architecture, ISA, designed by ISRO. It supports floating point computations and high-level programming via the Ada language. Space validation. First batch successfully tested in space through the PSLV Orbital Experimental Module, POEM-4, during the PSLV C-60 mission. Durability, designed to operate in extreme space conditions with a temperature range of -55 degrees Celsius to +125 degrees Celsius. Multi-stage malaria vaccine at Falsivax news. India is developing a multi-stage malaria vaccine candidate named Adfalsivax. About multi-stage malaria vaccine, Adfalsivax. Type, multi-stage malaria vaccine developed by Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, in partnership with the Department of Biotechnology National Institute of Immunology, DBTNI. Aim, to protect against human infection and reduce vector-borne community transmission of the parasite. Recombinant chimeric malaria vaccine. First indigenous recombinant chimeric malaria vaccine designed to target two critical stages of Plasmodium falciparum, the parasite responsible for the most lethal form of malaria. Significance. Adfalsivax has the potential to substantially contribute to malaria eradication by preventing infection and reducing community transmission. Licensing. ICMR plans to license the Adfalsivax technology to eligible organizations and manufacturers for further development, production, and commercialization under non-exclusive agreements. This approach is intended to ensure wider outreach and maximize public health benefits. About malaria cause. Malaria is caused by the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito, vector. Parasites. 5 types of malaria parasites infect humans. Plasmodium falciparum. Plasmodium vivax, most common. Plasmodium malariae. Plasmodium ovale. Plasmodium knowlesi. Life cycle. After entering the body, parasites first multiply in liver cells and then attack red blood cells, RBCs, leading to their rupture. Symptoms. Fever, chills, headache, muscle aches, tiredness, and flu-like illness. Note. Malaria is both preventable and curable. To the point term/initiatives in News 3x35 initiative. Context. Recently, the World Health Organization, WHO, has launched a 3x35 initiative. CRIB, a new human blood group ionic liquids about 3x35 initiative. It is a global effort urging countries to raise real prices of tobacco, alcohol, and sugary drinks by at least 50% by 2035. Objective. Mobilize US $1 trillion in revenue within the next decade. Approach. Works as a collaborative alliance of development partners, civil society, academia, and governments. It seeks to revive health taxes as a key instrument to curb harmful consumption, protect lives, and generate public funds. Health tax, a tax on products that cause negative public health outcomes, e.g., tobacco, alcohol, sugary beverages. Context. A new blood group, never identified before, has been discovered in a woman from Kolar district, Karnataka. About CRIB. Full form. CRIB stands for Cromer India, Bengaluru, recognizing its origin. System. It belongs to the INRA, Indian Rare Antigen, blood group system, officially recognized by the International Society of Blood Transfusion, ISBT, in 2022. Context. Scientists have found life can exist on rocky super-Earths with volcanic activity and little water thanks to ionic liquids. About ionic liquids. Definition. Salts that remain liquid below 100 degrees Celsius, often at room temperature, made entirely of ions, cations plus anions. Examples. Choline acetate, tetrabutyl ammonium nitrite. Key properties. Non-volatile and non-flammable, thermally stable, tunable, hydrophilic/hydrophobic, good electrolytes. Advantages. Safer and greener alternative to organic solvents. Recyclable. Dissolve a wide range of compounds. Applications. Green chemistry and catalysis. Electrochemistry and extractions. Biotechnology and materials science. Extreme nuclear. Context. Astronomers have discovered celestial transients, ENTs. Events more powerful than gamma ray bursts, known as extreme nuclear transients, ENTs. About extreme nuclear transients, ENTs. Definition. ENTs are the most powerful energy blasts in the universe, caused when supermassive black holes tear apart massive stars. Energy output. They can release 100 times more energy in a year than the sun produces over its 10 billion year lifetime and are up to 10 times brighter than normal tidal disruption events, TDEs. Comparison. ENTs are far more energetic than gamma ray bursts, GRBs, and remain bright in radio wavelengths for years. Formation. Occur when a star gets too close to a supermassive black hole, undergoing extreme tidal disruption, stretching and compressing it into a thin stream of energy. Scientific importance. Their brightness allows astronomers to study distant supermassive black holes, understand their growth, and probe the early universe. Green firecrackers. Context. The Supreme Court has granted permission for the manufacturing of green firecrackers in the Delhi NCR region, aiming to curb pollution levels during festive seasons. About green firecrackers. Definition. Green firecrackers are an environment-friendly alternative that do not contain harmful chemicals responsible for severe air pollution. Composition. They include items such as flower pots, pencils, sparklers, maroons, bombs, and chakras, designed with lower thermite content and minimal use of aluminium. Absence of barium. These firecrackers exclude barium compounds, which are commonly used in conventional fireworks to produce a green flame. Environmental benefit. Green crackers can reduce emissions by about 30%, particularly particulate matter, by using potassium nitrate as the oxidizing agent instead of traditional materials. Identification and certification.
They carry a CSI or NERI logo, indicating They carry a CSI or NERI They carry a CSI or NERI logo, indicating approval and verification by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, CSIR NERI. Atoll Innovation Mission. Context. India's first overseas Atoll Innovation Center was recently inaugurated at the IIT Delhi, Abu Dhabi campus in the UAE under Atoll Innovation Mission, AIM. About Atoll Innovation Mission, it is flagship initiative of the Government of India under Niti Aayog. Objective. Promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship across India. Major programs. Atoll Tinkering Labs. Foster innovation among school students 6th to 12th grade. Atoll Incubation Centers. Support entrepreneurship at universities, institutions, and corporates. Arise ANIC program. Encourage innovation in MSMEs and startups. Enteromics mRNA context. Russia launches Enteromics cancer vaccine. Vaccine showing 100% effectiveness in early trials. About mRNA vaccines, these are type of vaccines that use messenger RNA, mRNA, to instruct cells to produce a protein specific to a pathogen. Mechanism. mRNA carries genetic instructions, delivered via lipid nanoparticles, prompting cells to make antigen proteins. Example. COVID-19 mRNA vaccines taught cells to produce the spike protein of the coronavirus. Immune response. The body recognizes these proteins as foreign, triggering antibodies and T cells, preparing the immune system for future infections. Polypropylene. Context. The Prime Minister inaugurated the foundation stone of a new polypropylene plant at Numaligarh Refinery Limited, NRL, Assam. About polypropylene. Polypropylene is a synthetic resin obtained through the polymerization of propylene. Key features. It combines toughness, flexibility, lightweight, and resistance to heat, which makes it suitable for diverse industrial uses. Properties. Strong resistance to chemical corrosion, making it ideal for packaging. Excellent insulation capability. Waterproof in nature. Applications. Widely used in fibers, textiles, packaging materials, pipes, medical equipment, and electrical components. Monkeypox. Context. The World Health Organization (WHO) has announced that monkeypox, is no longer a global health emergency. About mpox is a
viral zoonotic disease caused by the monkeypox virus, MPXV, belonging to the orthopoxvirus genus, related to smallpox, cowpox, vaccinia. Origin. First identified in 1958 in monkeys, Denmark. First human case in 1970 in Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Symptoms. Incubation of 5 to 21 days. Early signs include fever, headache, muscle pain, and swollen lymph nodes, followed by a rash that spreads over the body and progresses to blisters and scabs. Transmission. Occurs human to human, close contact, sexual, respiratory, contaminated objects, mother to child, and animal to human, bites, scratches, hunting, consumption. Management. No specific antiviral exists. Supportive care is primary hydration, nutrition, pain relief, skin care, and prevention of secondary infections. Mission and news. NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, NISAR satellite. Context. The NISAR satellite was launched on July 30th, 2025 from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota by GSLV, F-16, which placed the 2,392 kilogram satellite into its intended sun-synchronous orbit. About NISAR satellite joint mission, NASA and ISRO. Type. Low Earth orbit, LEO, observatory at 747 kilometers altitude. First of its kind. Uses dual-frequency SAR, L-band and S-band. Duration. 3 years. Capability. Works day and night. Penetrates cloud cover. Scans almost all land and ice surfaces twice every 12 days. Instruments L-band SAR, 1 to 2 GHz penetrates vegetation and soil useful for forest cover, soil moisture. S-band SAR, 2 to 4 GHz higher resolution useful for urban, coastal monitoring. Significance tracks glacier and ice sheet flows, coastline shifts, landslide zones. Helps detect earthquake, tsunami, volcano, and landslide precursors. Supports groundwater mapping, agricultural monitoring, biomass, and carbon studies. Strengthens global understanding of Earth's ecosystems and natural processes. HOPE analog mission. Context. Bengaluru-based space tech firm Protoplanet, in collaboration with ISRO, has set up the Human Outer Planet Exploration, HOPE, station in Ladak's Tso Kar Valley. About Hope, it is a space analog research station designed to mimic the harsh environments of the Moon and Mars, thanks to Ladakha's cold desert terrain. It allows scientists to test technologies, train crews, and study human adaptability, geology, and life detection on Earth before missions to other planets. Examples worldwide include Russia's Bios 3 and NASA's Hera. Significance for India. First analog space station in India aids manned Moon/Mars mission readiness, and 2035 space station goal boosts public-private collaboration and global standing in space research. LEAP 1 mission. News. Dhruva Space is preparing to launch its first commercial satellite mission called LEAP. One about LEAP 1 mission launch, scheduled for Q3 2025 on SpaceX Falcon 9. Platform. Built on indigenous P-30 platform, earlier tested on PSLV, C-58, 2024, collaboration, joint initiative of India, Dhruva, and Australia, Akula Tech, Esper, with U.S. support. Payloads, Nexus 01, AI module with onboard processing and ML retraining. OTR 2, Esper satellites, hyperspectral imager for advanced Earth observation. Applications, defense, disaster management, agriculture, mining, and environmental monitoring. Pradesh mission. Context, scientists at the Raman Research Institute have proposed the Pradesh mission. About Pradesh mission. The Pradesh, probing Ryan as a tie-in of the universe using signal from hydrogen, is a radio telescope planned for deployment on the far side of the Moon. Objective, study the cosmic dawn by detecting faint 21 centimeters radio signals from neutral hydrogen when the first stars and galaxies formed. While lunar far side, Earth's radio noise and atmospheric interference obscure signals, the Moon's far side offers the quietest location in the inner solar system. Scientific significance. Understand how early stars heated and ionized hydrogen, study early universe evolution, and explore clues about dark matter and fundamental physics.